Smackers Burgers ever. I am happy for Bombers for their win. There was clear relief from the body of Rogue. But I am disappointed for Direwolves because I wanted to see them just doing that climb up that ladder.
You know, I don't actually think it's even just Direwolves making the climb, which again would be awesome. Like Totoro coming back in, they look like a reinvigorated side. But if Bombers lost and there was just like this, even more of a mosh pit in the middle,
Shuffle.
yeah, it could have been super crazy for the state of the league and more importantly the ladder. Like Rogue mentioned, a power rankings. How do you do it?
Yeah, because I think even though they did get the victory, some of that still holds up. Like the way that Bombers just boomed Chiefs yesterday and then come out and like Direwolves actually look good with Totoro back on the roster. I think he had a good game. I thought Katsuri actually, and I was thinking about it as the game was happening, had a good performance. But for a young player like that, as an AD carry, like the two members on your team that you interact with the most is the support, the jungle role, and to be surrounded by like import talent is certainly doing wonders for him. And like, yes, they didn't win the game. Bombers, like the solo lanes, I think Mimic, I think Tommy on the list had an absolutely monstrous performance. But like from both of these sides, that was actually a super important game in terms of where we are in the league.
My only concern for Bombers is this trap pick. Like their drafts are sick this week. They have got such cool traps in their drafts. But we don't know what next week's League of Legends looks like because of the patch. And so I don't know if Bombers can replicate this style of draft and trap. And like, was this their biggest strength is a question besides the fact that they're just superstar players, right?
Well, this is what I was going to say. Are we ready for a new patch? If this is where we've gotten to with this one, it's getting all exciting and spicy.
Yeah, because it's like patches beforehand, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like we never talk about patches like previously, like before they come in, right?
You
It's
have
always
13 minutes, go.
Yeah, no, but it's like, it's like, okay, like patch is going to hit next week.
Yeah.
OPL is on like a 2-week cycle. And it's like, when it hits, we like break it down. What changed? Like a couple of champions, like Tom Kane, see you later, yada, yada. But like this one is just so monumentally just like, all right, like, what do we got? Okay, this? All right, sick. I can play this, apparently. Like, you know what I mean? It's so just kind of whack.
Speaking of whack, we've got suggestions for MEO.
Give me this.
We have some.
I mean, I kind of, like, I'm not going to eat a chili-covered couch. I feel like there's some clause in all of our contracts that says we can't do that. But there's something to be said for the idea of having to speed put the couch together.
Speed IKEA.
I'm not building IKEA furniture.
It doesn't need to be IKEA. It could be something
I'm
much
not
more
building
expensive.
any furniture.
Really?
Jake tried to convince me with a steak dinner to build his couch.
And then he didn't do it, and he ate the steak dinner.
Yeah.
What about a furniture?
That's on you
It
for
was
buying a
actually-
steak dinner
it was
before.
It was the best time. I got everything I
How
wanted.
did you manage that?
I actually offered when I left because I'm super nice. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I was coming over to see his new house. You know what I mean? Because I'm a wholesome friend. He's like, yeah, let's have a dinner. Come over, like, hang out for a bit. And then it got too late and we couldn't build the couch.
He's just too good of a conversationalist.
Really?
Bryce and Jenna just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah, right. I mean, big mistake feeding him before the job was done.
It's true.
You understand that moving
We
forward.
could do furniture deconstruction.
Oh, I would do that with a sledgehammer.
Look how excited he is. Okay, I'll tell you what. Bryce can build the couch and make good on that, like, building
That's
promise.
even better. If I get to smash Bryce's furniture,
I'm actually...
Oh, it should be Bryce's actual couch.
No.
We'll
I don't
ship
own
it
a
in.
couch. I
Don't own a
I built a
couch?
bed recently. I don't know. I
that's
live in a
right.
share
Yeah,
house,
yeah,
so
share
it's like,
house.
I don't
Same
own the
code.
couch.
Yeah, you own 2 desks. We'll break one of those.
I own a washing machine. That's
We'll break
that's
that
cool.
king
You can't
single.
break that. No. I got a big ass bed now. I'm actually so good. I'm actually
Double
so good
bed.
at building furniture.
oh,
Not
is that
gonna
right?
lie.
So you
I'm
don't
top
leave
tier.
anything out when you go shopping for
No,
furniture?
no, we don't need to talk about that. IKEA boomed me. It's IKEA's fault. But I'm very
sure you
good
don't
at
wanna
building
bring
their
that
furniture.
Yeah, okay.
Who sells a bed without a mid beam? Let's be honest. What do
I
you
mean, or even if you sell it without it, who lets you walk out of the
Yes,
building?
I talked to
knowing
three
that they sell it
three
without it?
different people. You know what I mean? You have to like go collect the stuff. I had to go to the warehouse to get the mattress, and none of them were like, "Hey, you don't have a mid beam. Like, what's up?" And I was like, "Okay." Luckily, they were open late, so cheeky trip down. It was all good. It's all good.
All right. Before we get on to the suggestions, something did come through on Twitter, which I found very amusing. If you caught the last couple of segments, we were playing the Whisper Challenge, Whisper game?
Whispers?
Whispers,
Just whispers.
something Whispers, where you just needed to guess what the other person was saying while you were listening to very loud music. And this came in from Dunham35 in celebration of Bryce's pick. Kick-Cass.
Kick ass. Kick ass.
It was kick-ass.
He was definitely just saying kick ass over and over, and then I had to somehow string together Kit Kat.
That is not at all an infringement of copyright, and that's why we got
original
off screen pretty
interpretation.
quickly, but I do enjoy that very much. That was a very fun game. I feel like we should come back to that. That could be something we do at MEO. I've got some suggestions from the audience. Do we want to go through these first, and then if you guys have anything, we can figure it out. So I believe in you said they should make ice cream sundaes, but blindfolded, and the toppings for the ice creams are there in front of them. They could place them on there willy-nilly, or they could taste test what's in the bowls beforehand.
Phrasing.
There's some comments on that one.
I'm just reading what the people send in. I am merely the mouthpiece.
I have another.
for the degenerate
This
Twitch
actually prompts an idea that I remember seeing once. Have you ever seen a dog eat peanut butter where it was human hands? The dog's wearing a coat, and it looks like a.
Oh
the
yeah,
dog
and
has
he's
hands.
feeding the
Oh, right,
yeah.
okay.
So what if
Yep.
it was like the casters had to make something, or like the guests had to make something, and you don't control the hands, you're just the
Oh.
mouth.
Oh.
And you're
And-
like
and
saying, I'm
hands
gonna
control.
put this on that, and like that. So
Yeah.
whoever the hand has to.
Oh, okay.
That's actually really
And
good.
it could be like two audience members.
It could
and
be.
then they feed it with their audience hands, the
Yeah.
ice cream to
and
the
they
mouths
have to be
of
strangers. They
Jake
can't
and
know
Bryce.
each other at all.
Yeah. No, I'm on board with that.
Damn, that's
Okay.
actually
So I think
smart.
that's a cool
That's a
idea.
good suggestion.
Yeah.
At Fedora the Explorer, aka Mr. Nips, said a couple of suggestions. Have someone draw movies or books and have the other person try to guess what they are. I mean,
The other
Bryce
person.
is playing. We'll
Yeah.
get through one.
yeah, exactly.
Kick ass.
Origami competition, which is a nice idea, but it is we're at a stadium and you're talking about like building
Gentle
the smallest
paper
possible. Yeah, exactly.
Everyone be quiet.
But the third
Also, Pulse
suggestion-
will just win.
Sorry.
Also, Pulse will
Pulse
just win.
will just
Yeah.
win. I've been trying to figure out a way to capitalize on the origami because you're a pro.
guru.
Master? Guru?
Wizard?
Expert. Wizard.
Wizard?
Is it an origami
Mage?
wizard?
I don't know.
What's the...
Origami master.
You're on fire this
guess.
segment. What is the most complex thing you can origami?
Like right this moment?
Complex
Right
thing
now,
you have.
bottle in a laptop.
that
Like
you have
give me some
been able
time
to.
and some instructions.
If I
I
gave
can
you
make
24
pretty much
hours
anything.
and as much paper as your small hands could handle.
Yeah. I could probably make like, I could read pretty much anything.
Like 1,000 cranes.
1,000 cranes. Yeah.
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 So I could send you, like, does it need to be an existing thing? Or I could say, like, build Bryce's bed without the mid-beam and you could figure it out.
Yeah. I could probably do that.
Okay, there needs to be
Yeah.
sometime this split where Pulse does not cast, and instead this is his job for
Or
the
do it
evening.
while casting.
I mean, you're just setting
He's a
yourself up
wizard.
harder and harder. He is a wizard. Okay, I'm going to remember that. The final suggestion from at Fedora the Explorer: rap battle.
No. Like, the thing is, right, is we get ripped off all the time.
That's true.
Like, just filthy plagiarism from every region, like, to be blatantly honest. And, like, the one thing is that the LEC came up with the rap battles. And not only that, Dracos writes all the lyrics. And is very freaking good at it. So I'm going nowhere near that one, because they would just smash us at it.
Okay, that's
Didn't
fair.
you have some rap bet with Medic?
Yeah, I have to write an apology song. I said I'd get it done by Worlds. So, Medic, if you're watching, which you're probably not, I'll get it done by Worlds.
Okay.
Is that a real promise or is that a Bryce Bed promise?
No, it's a real promise, because the thing is that Dracos has to help me write the song, but Dracos knows nothing about cricket. So we need like a 12-hour Discord conversation to explain what cricket is, and then while Australia losing their first ever semi-final at a World Cup versus England, who never win in the semi-finals of the World Cup, is an important like historic moment or something, which is going to be tough.
That's going to be a really weird
And he
song
has
to
to
listen
sing,
to.
which is wonderful.
And he
I
needs,
can sing.
and he needs to make cricket entertaining. So
Not
all of
well,
that is
but
very
I do it enthusiastically.
That is very true. Davo Erlo, interpretive dance segment. Guess the league champion.
Extreme charades, that basically.
Basically. I don't mind that
I'm
as
not
an
against
idea.
it.
Someone else did have a Troxa Os. Said, have the
Marco.
casters... Sorry?
Schmarko, man.
Nah.
No?
Trosser?
Nah, he's Trosser.
Because
This is Troxa with an
this
X.
is someone else.
sorry. I thought it was 55, but it wasn't.
Nah.
Have the casters try to act out champions' movesets, and the others have to try and guess who the champion is.
Act out
So we could
champions
almost
movesets.
put
Oh,
those
like
together.
Yeah.
lead kick. Yeah.
Yeah, like the skills and that sort of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
You could probably put them both together then, right?
That's
Like
not a bad idea.
interpretive dance of the moves.
Yeah, I don't mind that one. Labambi came in with so many suggestions, and I feel like They all have names, and it feels like they're made up. There's blindfolded makeup, no mirror makeup challenge.
Blindfold makeup, no mirror makeup.
So blindfolded makeup or the no mirror makeup challenge. But I feel like that's something we can't, like, we have to be on all day. We can't be, I can't be screwing up my rouge on purpose.
Screwing up my
The Chubby Buddy challenge, the Egg Roulette challenge, face the cookie. Place a cookie on someone's forehead. They have to only use their face muscles, no hands to get into their mouth.
Oh,
right,
yeah,
that
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Massive advantage to Bryce. Defying gravity. Give each player 3 balloons. They all have to keep all three balloons up in the air for a minute. Shamrock Shake. Tape an empty Kleenex box to a pair of pantyhose. Fill it with ping pong balls that tape around someone's waist. They have to shake until all the balls come out. I feel like you're just mocking us.
Can you go back one? What
Defying gravity.
Non-helium balloons.
Give each player 3 balloons.
Yeah.
They have to keep all 3 balloons up in the air for a minute.
Oh, I really like that.
Not just like on
I like
string.
juggling.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, sorry, no. Like,
I'm gonna write that
no.
down. For
I actually,
a
no, I
later
can't.
segment.
No, I said.
Bryce will do it.
Bryce, I like juggling Paul.
I actually can't like juggle, but I mean like soccer balls and stuff. Like, you know me, go to the beach.
This has gone
The
disastrous
beach.
for Bryce.
I'll spend like half an hour just kicking around like you know what I mean? Just like juggle. Yeah.
I would pay good money to see you do that at the booch. All right, rocketing through. Andy Ryan says, race to make each one of you a mummy using toilet paper, or eat a cake or something sweet with your hands tied behind your back. Dubsy says, more painting and a ball pit. Those are just our suggestions. 1v1 ARAMs with audience members. And then Observer Oceanic says, we've seen painting. Surely now it's time for something more hands-on.
Sculpting.
Let's see some sculpting.
Ooh.
I will only do that if I get a clay wheel.
I assumed it came with a clay wheel. That'd
get
be
a-
so fun.
That would be awesome. Like you either sculpt like a league champion or a league weapon or something like that, or you sculpt an audience member.
Oh. Okay.
And apparently, I'm just hearing from production, we can't do the scene from Ghost.
I don't know what the scene goes.
Of course you don't. I can't take you anywhere except the booch. I really like the sculpting suggestion.
Yeah,
I
that's
think that could be
actually
cool.
yeah.
That's like a cool
So
idea.
how do you sculpt an audience member? So we put the audience member on the wheel.
They pose.
We
spin them
wet
around
them
a
significantly because stuff has to be very wet to be sculpted, is my understanding.
And then we give them a vomit bag because they're going to hit that pedal and they're just going to be spinning it. No, we get an audience member, we sit them down and we go, what do you look like? And then we've got
You ask
like,
them what do you look like.
Yeah, I say, it's like, what do you look like?
First suggestion,
Hello.
blindfolded. Like you have
What
to
do you look
describe
like?
yourself, and then we have to like
That's
sculpt
really
it
good.
blindfolded.
Why don't we just paint someone while blindfolded,
Or
but with
no,
descriptors?
better yet,
good
that's
as
what
well.
I was going to say. Because we're too good at painting, like
are.
as you can see.
Still on display.
Yeah, we face the other way and we tandem paint. So I'll paint
And I
you
describe.
tell me what I'm painting.
But mate, I love it, except I paint.
Nick, I'm just saying Atlas versus
I'm
Ovaly.
willing to shot call.
That's true.
If
That's
each
true.
of them paint and we do shot call.
All right, we have a lot of suggestions. We are going to decide a winner after the final game, and also after the final game, the MPL. We're going to be doing some more ARAMs.
We playing.
We are playing. This collection of people are playing along with Chaz and Crazy. It's going to be a lovely evening. But we have one more game for the day. It is Gravitas versus Legacy, the final banger of the night. And if the last 3 games are anything to go by, exciting?
Oh, absolutely exciting for both of these teams because they'll both come into it thinking it's the easiest win of the split.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like,
Yeah, no, but it's also, I think, coming into it, like, Gravitas surprised everyone yesterday. Right? Like, coming out, that was an absolutely monster game that we haven't seen from them so far this split. So it's
Yep.
like, for me, like, what team shows up? Was that a one-hit wonder? Is this the start of, like, some good form? And you know what I mean? They can get a victory. Because if it's a Gravitas win, then all of a sudden they're on 4 wins and Legacy are on 1.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other, which just puts, like, 1 point between them. And
It's
they
a real widening
They look
of the
really,
gap.
yeah. It's, like,
Absolutely.
actually, yeah, huge.
And Legacy were also playing well yesterday. I don't
Yeah.
want to take from them. So this is actually an interesting match where both teams come in with surprisingly good form when they play against each other.
I'm excited, and I did play with some Gravitas members last night on the MPL, so now they know what real talent looks like. So hopefully they can take some of that moving forward. Let's jump right into the Macca's Champ Select.
Thank you. And the final game of the evening. You got something to say, Spoon?
When you watch a genius at work, just hosting a show with such like careless and like just ability to do it so like naturally as like Nick's throws are just like they're actually
This is some key
awe-inspiring.
word choice right now.
Yeah, just awe-inspiring throws. That's all I'm gonna say.
Amazing. I really do want you two to recreate the scene from Ghost now.
Nick and I, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We're comfortable enough with each other.
Who's in front and who's behind? Important question.
I'll let the fans decide.
There you go. Vote on Twitter. Tweet at SpawnLol, and let's get into the game. Gravitas Legacy. Legacy currently 1-10. Gravitas 3-8, but pulling out their win yesterday against the Direwolves, who we just saw. Yeah, we'll see who picks this one up. Very interesting bands, obviously, like, very specific to these teams, right? Like, Rumble has been what Legacy have been going towards after their boot camp. Yasuo coming out here as well. Sejuani, Meta, obviously the Mordekaiser towards Pabu, who has pulled out already.
Yeah, it's just weird that they've banned the Yasuo, right? Harry had a
We just saw it yesterday.
huge Yasuo performance yesterday.
It was major part of their win, to be honest, against the Direwolves.
I mean, he just got a level 2 solo kill, and then a level 5 solo kill, and then a double kill in River, and then the game was over.
Yeah. So, yeah, curious band, but still, they're nonetheless. Karma will be the final band from Gravitas, and Legacy will remove Aurelia.
Okay, so Lux is available.
Yumi's
Yumi is
available.
available.
Silas is available.
That is a very strange first
Okie
pick.
dokie.
But makes sense, because if there's more than one of the supports available, maybe you just trade supports, and if you think that Sejuani and Silas are the two best junglers on the patch,
Yeah.
which some people do, then that
Go on.
can be what you go towards.
Quick, cheeky Riven hover.
Haprise does play it.
I would love to see some Riven.
You like Riven?
Yeah, I used to play a ton of it in Season 3, I think.
Okay.
Was my one trick for that year. You played much Riven yourself?
Yeah, I actually played a lot of jungle Riven,
Jungle Riven.
but now Carbon just does it better, so I don't do it anymore.
That's fair. Did you did you figure out the fast Q combo?
No, so
Click
I
and
was,
click away.
I was really much more of like, I think there's like two kinds of Rivens. There's like the min-max like micro Rivens,
Right.
which is like probably the way you should play it. And then there's like the build just flat AD, flash on the AD carry and trade 1-for-1 Riven.
That's fair.
And I was like,
that's also how you play Alistair.
Yeah, I was a very like, if I've taken out a strong member, I've done my job. If we lose the game, that's on you guys. Like I've gone in and I've done everything
fair.
I can.
It feels like you were like, okay, well, I don't want to go AP, so I'm not going to go Malphite or Alistair, but I do want an AD alternative, so I'll basically make Riven and do the same thing.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of mechanics for that champion. Remember interviewing Huni literally years ago now, and he was talking about literally like the intricacies of that champion and how far deep you can go down the rabbit hole. Not going to see it this game. Well, still a chance, but not so far. Lux and Ezreal coming out from Legacy, and in response, instant Yumi and Lucian. Feels like we've just seen this combo way too much recently.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's emerging as a really strong duo right now. I think we saw it for the first time in the LCK. Previously, people thought you could only play Yumi with Sivir and Ezreal, but obviously Lucian popping up as one of the better carries now. I think, like, very interesting to me is that it was Ezreal paired with the Lux. It's one of the safer blind picks, but we saw Caitlyn rise up as a pick with the Lux, and just that fast push, like, dominating lane style is really, like, just so fun. And there's not very many great answers to it right now if you have the Lux, you know? You would think of things like Ashe and Nautilus and stuff can do quite well into it, but just the early lane control is really oppressive to deal with.
Now we're going to have LeBlanc come out, and we also did have the Rek'Sai come in for the jungle here for Guts. Interesting actually went towards the Rek'Sai here, because Guts definitely see him on a lot of the big aggressive champions. Jarvan comes to mind, but yeah, definitely goes towards the Rek'Sai on this one.
Did play it yesterday and had, I think, one of his best games of the season.
Yeah,
they
for
looked
sure.
so decisive, and then he was able to pick up a couple of snipe kills. And I always say this is Rek'Sai. Kind of doesn't matter if you die, as long as you get kills on your first couple of ganks. Because you get 3 kills, and you get an early Warrior Black Cleaver, you just attack side lanes really efficiently on that champion. And, you know, the burrow in under walls, as long as you're in behind, you get knock up into, like, they flash away, you follow with ult. Like, just a very effective side lane ganker, kind of like Nocturne, but, you know, different play style. And I think that Guts does that really well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely agree with you. One of the best performances that I've seen out from Guts so far. Yeah, ban away of the Camille, the Aatrox as well. Pretty standard stuff across the board. And yeah, we'll see what else these teams have for us.
So we told Praelis and Parvu that they had to play Caitlyn. And
What was our comp?
well, we had
Caitlyn,
Caitlyn,
Leona,
Jinx,
Jinx.
Leona. What was I playing? I was playing
Okay,
Victor,
what were you playing? Victor, yeah.
and there was one more. They could jungle, because none of these champions so far can jungle. I think it was Silas. I think Parvu played
Yeah, it might have been
Silas.
Silas, yeah.
So they've gone with the Silas. That's one. I want at least another 2 champions from our MPL.
I'm actually just disappointed that at the very least they didn't hover the champions, you know, and put it out there as a
no
potential
shout out
pick.
at all. Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable.
The nerve of these
No
players.
respect.
I'm so happy that we're playing with the legacy players after this game.
Unbelievable. Gravitas, they will lock in the Azir, though. And Jace on the opposite side here from Legacy. Actually, see where that one goes, whether it will go to top lane or mid lane. Azir obviously going towards the mid here. And looking towards that final pick from Gravitas. Still a chance for Leona.
Ooh.
Actually, go on.
Why not?
This would be our first of the OPL. And it's locked in. There we go. First Kiana.
So, quinoa.
Quinoa. Yeah.
Quinoa, is that what we're going with?
Quinoa. Yeah.
Okay. She is AD. So,
But you wouldn't think it.
yeah, you wouldn't think it, but she is. And it has a really interesting kit. We'll get into it during the game, but you would assume it's going top lane, can be played in a couple of different positions, and just has so much burst damage.
Yep.
Ridiculous amounts of burst damage.
And Ari.
Okay, so
All right.
Chaz taking the pre-buffed Ari onto Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, obviously changes on 9:14, which, as you said, hitting next week, but not this one, but still looking towards it. There's a good chance he's played it in solo queue and just being comfortable with the
I think
champion.
he's played it into order already once this year.
Yeah, we had it, but that was a good couple of weeks ago
Yep.
before, like, you know, we even knew Ari was being buffed, but sometimes it happens like this. I know coming from the LPL, a lot of times we wouldn't see a patch for a while, but players would still basically be playing the meta several patches in advance and then would just transition into it smoothly, so not that surprising. And yeah, Kiana will go into the top lane. It's been funny we were talking about Riven because, like, this is another very mechanically intense champion. You know, you can push this champion very far.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a very strange kit, to be perfectly frank. Like, so much of it revolves around one ability and the ability to reset that ability based on what you pick up and managing your W cooldown in conjunction with your Q cooldown. So I think she's really fun. I know Rusty's played a lot with her, so I'm kind of sad that Rusty isn't casting this game. But as I said, I like to get into the intricacies of it during the actual game if we can get some zoom in of it, because top lane Kiana plays very different to mid lane Kiana. It's all about being able to play the baits around the brushes, and there's a very squishy jungler in her Rek'Sai. And just let me tell you, if Kiana starts throwing out brush Qs and sneaking into them, you don't really want to go in afterwards because she throws you into the wall and does one-hit you off the back end of it. So is quite a unique champion.
Yep, we've got Juice joining us as well. What's your thoughts on, we're calling Quinoa in the top lane?
Oh, I was going to call it Keanu Reeves, but
Keanu Reeves.
that's fine.
That's
like
also
that.
a good one.
I saw that somewhere, and I was like, I just say Keanu Reeves all the time
Oh,
now.
no, now you put it in my head.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it all game. But yeah, what are your thoughts on her as a champion?
It's something Jackson's pretty comfortable on. I mean, everyone that knows Jackson, everyone that knows Pabu knows he's a bit of a menace when it comes to playing new champs and certain things. So it gives us a lot of flexibility to when something comes out that people haven't played against too often. Like we have the ability to play it just because that's what Jackson's good at, I would say. And it looks like a good game for Kiana. Like they don't have much HP on their team at all. And like if she lands pretty much one good ultimate against any of those members at any point in the game, they're dead. And I think, yeah, it's just a really good game. They don't have like point and click CC. Like you have to hit her with some skill shots, which is also very good for her. Like if there's the only targeted kind of ability, right, is the Rek'Sai knockup. And if that's all she has to deal with, then Bob's your uncle.
And it felt like there were more of these style of champions where if you went aggressive on them and messed up, they like one-hit you in the past. It certainly feels like more of a throwback champion with how much burst damage she has in one combo, right?
It's very surprising. There's been times where I'm watching scrims and like I'm like, oh, Pub is dead here, and then you just see this turn of burst from Kiana, and I think most players are kind of caught off by that at the moment. I'm not sold on whether she's like super OP or anything like that. I'm not sure, but like what I've seen works for us, and like that's why I'm super confident giving Jackson that champion, and I think it will catch a lot of teams off guard. A lot of teams too often have skirmish in the river against her, and I mean, there's walls everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And you guys, really good performance yesterday. What happened?
Well, I like most teams, I guess, we kind of always say like that there's a ceiling for every team has a ceiling, right? Every team can play to a certain level, and like we each week we see what our level is, and it's just trying to replicate it on stage. And I feel like we're kind of working on a few things. We built a lot of trust in the team, and hopefully this is our turning point, you know, where we start to go on a bit of a streak. And if we can get past Legacy, then yeah, we'll be right up there again.
and I've been asking this of like kind of every coach coming in today, you know, if there's one thing for viewers at home to watch for in the composition you guys have put together, like what is that first mark, that checkbox that you want your team to be able to hit with this comp?
I'm gonna say, watch the Kiana level 6. I think that's where she can, again, where she surprises most people, and she makes that very big first, like high impact play, whether it's a 1v1 in her lane or it's like a 2v2. But I think yeah, that'd be the thing to watch in the early game for us.
And my final question for you, Jules, is what jersey have you got on today?
That's the Arrow jersey.
The Arrow jersey?
Yeah. I had a feeling you might ask, so I was like, I'll do my homework real quick.
Pablo was on it yesterday.
Yeah.
He was like, there's a Tiger jersey. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the whole team's across it.
All right, fantastic. Well,
Yep.
thanks for joining us. Always great hearing from you, and best of luck.
Thanks.
Well, we're looking towards level 6, but probably just looking at it now as it's just trading blows in lane.
Okay, so this was what I was going to say. In mid lane, you see a lot more of the rock or the fire Kiana picked up. Very short lane, right? Oh, actually goes in.
Flash coming out from Pabu, yeah. Looks for the potential kill right there. Doesn't find it. Paprise immediately backs away upon seeing the flash.
And what I was going to say, in top lane, you see much more brush Kiana picked up. And the reason for that is, see those two brushes? If you can play pushed up in the lane and get the wave right here, she can throw out Qs and dance between two brushes, and it is so hard to face check her. Because especially at level 6, the amount of burst as Praelis goes for his first game.
Looking for this one, chokes up the chains. Well played by, well played by Paprise there, just dodging every single skill shot.
Yeah, there's a lot of Ps on the top side of the map. We're going to have to watch out for that one.
Yeah, there's also 2 praise in the map as well. So.
So it's going to be fun. But yeah, what I was going to say is like the ability to dance between two brushes, and kind of reminds me of like when Rengar was seen in top lane, and you'd like jump on you, go to a different brush, jump on you, then hit ult, and you're like, which brush is he actually in? Like he won't
it's
stand
like the
still.
cup game.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Guts getting caught out in the jungle, Praelis. At the blast cone right here. Chaz also coming down, and mid lane's not able to react, so yeah, we'll get away with this one.
Yeah, a couple of laners not able to react. That's big damage into the bottom lane onto Decoy, but he is just going to reattach. Won't mean all that much. I was going to say, Harry had gone back to base, so that was going to be Chaz with inside track. But you see how well Parvo is pushing in the top lane. Paprise can't follow up because there's no flash. If he gets caught in river, he's just going to die. So, I mean, I think that's smart of Guts to back away. He has slowed down the clear. And Rek'Sai is one of those champions that does clear very, very quickly, has good AoE in the kit, so should be able to now put his jungle on cooldown very successfully.
And yeah, first time really looking at the bottom lane, because everything's been popping off in the mid and higher lanes. But yeah, Lucian's just been pushing forwards in this one. Kind of different to what we saw in the last game, where the Ezreal was really just getting the best of the early laning phase. This is also the choice for Legacy to opt in towards this matchup. And they picked... the Ezreal looks first, pretty much knowing this would be the matchup.
Yeah, you think something has to have gone wrong, right? Because Lux is, at the moment, I think, universally the highest priority champion in League of Legends.
Yeah.
She seems to be completely picked banned by everyone. So the fact that, you know, they've got the Lux Ezreal lane, which they offered into, and have been pushed in, is, I'm not going to say worrying, because, you know, it's only 5 minutes into the game, but
Yeah,
you
not
hope
really call
after
it.
this recall, they're certainly able to get something going.
Yeah, but for now, it will be that one-wave advantage. You see, even CS, but with recall coming early here, it will be a wave crashing into the tower. The cannon wave, though, got the timing on that one.
Well, what it's going to be is choice of whether they match teleports, right? Because Praetor's going to teleport for this one, so he's going to pick up all the creeps underneath the turret. Raid and Decoy have the decision of whether they want to walk back, because they're going to have to collect this wave, and then the next wave as well is going to have to be pushed completely in to deny CS. That means, you know, if a 10-minute Rift Herald play wants to be started up, Praetor's teleport will be on cooldown, and bottom lane of Raid and Decoys can be available. However, it looks like teleport is going to come back in, so they're just going to choose to match that. The reason you match in this scenario is if you think you can genuinely maintain prio for the whole lane. Like, you would miss 2 creeps worth of experience, something like small like that, with how deep that wave is pushed in. So, like, this is a deliberate choice to continue to maintain prio.
Pabu coming out there. Paprise has used a lot of visibility, but Chaz and Guts coming into the top lane with a minion wave here as well. Pabu knocked up and put down for first blood.
Yeah, really nicely played there from Guts, because he got far enough away from the turret with the flash so that Many wasn't knocked back into the structure. No extra damage, no CC going to register there, so able to walk out very, very quickly. Also, Paprise tanked the turret for him there, which is really key. So great execute on a dive. I mean, once again, that's just all the mid lane priority being spent to pick up the kill, but I think that's important for Jace to get ahead in this matchup.
Yeah, good stuff coming across there. First kill going to Legacy, and also into the top lane as well, you know, like that kill gold going over to the Jace.
Ooh.
Allows him to go back. He's picked up the tier.
Tier Jace. So they're going to have double tier, which I think in the day was like, you know, a
This
huge
is
mid-game
bit of a
power
throwback,
drop.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say it's as much, but a tier item even if you complete Muramana, isn't an item until the evolution comes through. It's like you have components still.
Yep.
Because so much of the item's power is in being able to register, especially on Jace, that triple auto attack with the additional damage. So I think this is a really interesting decision coming through from Paprise. We've seen Tally build this way once. I disagree with it. We had a conversation. He said he definitely was the build that he wanted to go with. So very interested to track Paprise this game and how quickly he's able to stack that one up.
I mean, I remember seasons and seasons ago, you know, when like you would go just mana build on Jason, you would just chuck out shock blasts through acceleration gates and just chill mid lane, and that would just be your comp. But yeah, it's been a while since that.
Well, I really do think it is much more due to like you max W second now in cannon form, and the triple proc of the on-hit damage just seems to put Jace over the edge. I don't think it's as much for the large mana pool anymore, although it definitely helps still, right?
Sure.
It is much more of that
burst.
burst combo coming out. You know, there are some different builds with Jace when you play him into tanks. You want to go Blade of the Ruined King. You know, then we see some lethality builds coming out as well. This seems to be like the adaptation on top of the lethality build, because you do run out of items when you build lethality, right? You kind of go like Yomu's. Dustblade kind of sucks on Jace. Edge of Night's fine, but it's really expensive. It doesn't give you MR for an anti-MR mage item. So like, it's a confusing build. So I expect it's going to be, you know, Manamune into Dustblade, into probably Last Whisper will be his build, like completed for that late game power spike.
Wow, I feel like I've seen this one before, but this time Pabu has lived it once already. And it's the second time, probably coming again. Mid lane disappears, Guts in the enemy jungle. And yeah, Paprise just chilling past the waves, so what are you expecting? And Pabu essentially just has to sit here and wait for assistance or wait for them to go away.
And it's so strange because his bottom lane took a base during that with the Silas on bottom lane jungle. So like, there is nothing Pabu can do. He's just lost 2 turret plates for free. And now he's still going to be under fire for this game.
He has flash on this one. Also has the ultimate, gets the stun. Yeah, and that will be the end of that gank. Paprise also takes 2-3 tower shots from that one.
Yep. Interesting decision from Paprise to give Pabu all of his health bar.
Yeah,
I do wonder if he had his time again, whether he would decide to do that.
I wonder. I honestly do wonder, Spawn. Yeah, picking up that ultimate there, Praelus.
So I remember a G2 game where it was against SKT, where I said like they're just continually roaming out of mid lane. Oh, hold that thought.
4 members on the bottom side here for Gravitas, opening up with the opening salvo. And they don't commit.
And Perks kept diving top lane and just like absolutely monstering that lane. But Faker got up like 30 CS on Azir. And I was like, is this worth it? That's a flash.
Yeah, I guess he was just respecting that Paprise was there, but Paprise was at inner turret. That's the biggest fake out.
So regardless, I was like, it's not worth it because Azir's just going to carry this game. But G2 closed it out before 2 items. And then it does become worth it, right? All of a sudden, you know, this 20 CS you've given up as the Ahri to roam top twice is definitely worth it. But OPL has been going for a long time this weekend. Like, we've seen some 35, 40-minute games. So you can't let Azir have this much of a gold lead at 11 minutes unless you can close this game in 25 minutes, in my opinion, because you're just going to get to 3 items way too early. It's going to probably be something like the Ludens into the Nashes, into a Void Staff or a Death Cap, and he's going to take over the game.
You know, and I would say that is a bold decision to be made by Legacy, you know? Because I've been saying for a while now, I feel like they've got steps 1 to 3 complete, and they have nothing past that.
Yep.
They get to step 4, and they're just like, all right, I don't know what to do, you know? We need assistance. So for Legacy to say, we're going to clear out this game, you know, it's going to be like done at 15, we'll close by 25, like, is a bold statement to make against Gravitas.
Because, I mean, we've seen teams this weekend fail at that. Like, Bombers had their game pretty much done at 15. Then Direwolves fought back, and then it was done at like 35, right? Order certainly had their game done at 15, and then gave it back at 21 with a Baron take that probably should just never have happened. You heard Claire's interview, and he said, you know, their eyes kind of lit up as soon as Order went towards it, because he was like, this is the one way back into the game. Thank God they've gifted it to us. So, yeah, certainly...
Ooh, full combo. Yeah, goes into the stopwatch.
Great all in.
But Crazy still under attack from this one. Praetor trying to stand in front, blocking a bit of damage. The shield comes across as well. Praelus was looking for a gank and wrap around, but he's now called out. Guts comes in, flash, knock up, follow through. Will be the kill by Guts. Now they're chasing down onto Raid as well. Catches him with the chop. I don't think anybody expected that to hit. Everybody started walking around.
Where's the faith, fellas?
I know.
Chaz clips him.
Even Chaz walks around.
Yeah, no, I mean, that should have been follow-up couple of kills, I think. But really nice counter gate from Guts. As I said, on his champion, It's like he can forget about everything else and just focus on the pathing aspect of jungling, which is so important. And a lot of young junglers make mistakes of it, right? You know, I'm not just talking about Guts here. I'm talking about all junglers in general. If you get rid of kind of the mechanical aspects they need to think about and just let him play something he's good at, you can see that he has tracked Prayless around this map really well this game and was able to pick up a very important kill.
Yeah, well played. I mean, this is a 2-0 start here for Legacy. I can only think back to like one game in recent history where Legacy have actually just been leading at the start of the game.
Well, did they play Mammoth yesterday? Who did they play yesterday?
Legacy played Mammoth.
Yeah, and they had a really good game. Like, as I said, it was a classic Mammoth game. Like, it never looked like Mammoth were going to lose it. But, like, I thought, like, throughout the whole game that Legacy were very competitive. And I always am a big fan of this. Like, when you play the top team and you're coming last, as Order has been a couple of times, you stop focusing on, like, hey, guys, let's pick up a win here. It's like, okay, what milestones do we want to hit to get confidence back? And that is a competitive game in a lot of circumstances. So I think Legacy actually would have taken a lot of, like, kind of pride in that, you know, the fact that they are competitive. And now you set your sight on the team that's near, you know, the Orders, the Gravitases, you know, potentially a Direwolves or a Bombers victory as well in there somewhere. And look, they're on track this game to be able to do that. Their comp certainly doesn't fall in a hole. Like, they're certainly better mid-game than they are late, but I've seen mid-game teams play late game pretty well today so far.
Yeah, we've just seen that.
So I'm really confident in Legacy this game.
Legacy. Cam's just defending jungle right now. Prayless, we're just going to pop over back to his jungle here.
This is a really nice walk down from Paprise. So what Paprise has done is he's pushed top lane wave as far as he can with eyes on Prayless, and now he just walks down and sits behind mid lane. That should guarantee a wave of priority. You know, Dragon was already gone, but this means that they can now float Ahri down towards bottom lane or a clean blue buff setup, and it just gives the map the rest of the safety they need without losing anything in top lane.
Right.
I actually really like when top laners just sit behind their mid laners or in a side lane brush, because I think like people don't realize how much that inferred pressure does for the rest of the map, and it allows you to float down the pressure into another lane as well.
Spillover is also a thing, but that route immediately onto Yuumi. Can a play here from Gravitas. Jungler immediately pops out the brush, and yeah, that play basically just defused the gank there that was on the horizon from Prayless sneaking into those brushes.
Well, look how much prior they have over the mid lane right now, right? Their ability to push mid lane turret completely in and then walk into the bottom jungle. That means now, like, you know, you have to back off this turret. There's no way you can defend it. It's going to take some shots until Ahri shows back on this lane that you can reapproach, which now Chaz has done, so Raid and Decoy step back up. But this is kind of the give and take of pro play that you don't really see in solo queue. In solo queue, I'm thinking, you know, if I lose out 6 creeps of experience of gold, like I'm in a situation to not win this game, I'm going to gamble he's back. Well, in pro play, they know if they're back, they know if they're on the rotate, and you know, you have to respect it in this situation, otherwise you give up deaths, gold, as well as that experience. And, you know, this pressure, this full court press that Legacy is starting to come back on, breeds mistakes. And it's really about whether Gravitas can withstand that and continue to farm up, because they are leading in farm in a couple of lanes, or whether they do make that mistake and allow Legacy to close out the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's all these invisible things under the hood, right? Like creating mistakes and like versus, you know, opening opportunities for yourself, that type of play style. But Gravitas right here, looking towards this dragon perhaps.
Well, they've done the opposite now,
first
right?
one.
Pabu's just sacked the lane. Pabu's going, well, I can't push into him anyway. Like, I'm just going to walk down, I'm going to be here first, and I'm going to look for a kind of play around the dragon because I think they're going to take it. Paprise really smartly said, I'm not pushing the wave. You're going to lose all that golden experience as it now pushes back, and I'm also going to group with the dragon, off a fresh shot, and see if they can get there in time.
Yeah, looks like a no. Ahri is pathing down into bottom river here, but the dragon is already gone. Yeah, actually just going to spot that ward over there and just say no to that. And Gravitas will find themselves their second dragon here. No gold objectives, but still will be nice to have, certainly. As Legacy are now putting the pressure down onto the middle lane tower. Hayri is here, teleport coming down as well.
Charm.
I'd imagine from Pabu.
Oh.
Oof. Yeah, mistimed, honestly.
Just though from Chaz, like, you know, that's a half a second thing.
Yep.
But these are the plays they need to start making work, because bottom lane turret does get taken from Gravitas. Great counter punch there. You know, Legacy's still up in gold, but that dragon should have been a contest. They're the stronger team right now. You know, that mid lane turret probably should have been a kill. You can't teleport onto a turret if there is just sitting CC right now.
Right.
Would have been a, you know, charm into flash on Burrow into definitely dead Pabu. He's not a tanky member. So these are the things that Legacy need to start executing on, because as I said, it's not like they get outright outscaled, but I would certainly favor Kiana as well as the Azir in the late game. So there is kind of an implied clock on this game to where Gravitas are going to start feeling much more comfortable.
You can just hear a bit of a lull in the game and in the action. Though mid lane tower is still very much on the cards here for Legacy. Harry is just getting back to lane now. And Guts is on the top side of mid. We could just see something very similar to what we just saw, but it seems like Crazy and Chaz just going to back away. Yeah, play's not going to be made though. First items are going to cross though from pretty much everybody. Super Soaker from Chaz, mid lane, Nash's top lane. Had the Dust Blade for a while, has now picked up Tiamat, actually second on
He just
Pabu.
went back and got himself some Spooky Ghost outright.
Wow, okay.
So that's why they didn't contest Dragon, because their mid laner was just sitting on 2,800 gold.
A huge amount of gold. Yeah, not even components. Okay, well, I guess we know. Hayri tagged out by that ultimate, and Legacy just all turned up to the mid lane here and are just chunking down this inner turret. Chaz over the wall, fishing for a charm. They kind of fizzle. Yeah, they took the middle tower though. Legacy is still just basically arrowing in this middle lane, decoying Praelus over the wall. And Hayri's here to collect this minion wave. They'll get another chunk down onto this tower here. Pabu looking for the potential flank. Hayri jumps all the way back, counterintuitive to what the Yuumi was looking for. Paprise low, but he jumps onto Pabu regardless, who jumps into the mid lane. Laser comes across, the Guts low, he dies, and Paprise looking for a return, but it is a 1-for-1, Pabu for Guts.
Yeah, it certainly is. However, in the top lane, that is still just Raid. Split pushing by himself, takes the turret, is now 30 CS up. Rode a wave all the way in from tier 2 to, you know, now the enemy tier 2. That is just so much gold going over to the Lucian. And this is Legacy looking for their plays, right? They're trying to be proactive. They're trying to kind of up the speed of the game, but instead they're just trading inefficiently around the map and kind of alluding to what you were hinting at earlier. That step 1 and 2 of this game, you know, get top lane ahead. Okay, put pressure elsewhere on the map. Now it's down to what do we do in the mid game? And group mid lane and ARAM, when you've got things like a Jace, like an Ahri that are very successful side laners, does not seem to be the case. This is what we were hinting at with Qiyana. Like, what does she bring to a team? Well, you ult a wall here, and it stuns 2 people. Like, no other champion has that zone threat from that far away without putting themselves in danger. Because she doesn't have to be on top of you, right? You know, sure, Malphite can do that, but he throws his body in there. Qiyana doesn't go anywhere near the play and just is able to have such a threat zone if you're standing near walls or structures. And Azir wall only makes it worse. If there was an Azir wall there, it would have been bouncing everywhere, the flame. So really nice play there from Pabu, even though he did fall down. Certainly secured that kill for his team.
Yeah, it's funny that it works off terrain, but it also works off, you know, Azir wall, because Azir wall is made out of people.
Yep.
But there you go. A supreme display of skill indeed. And yeah, I mean, we'll get the bottom lane tower here. We'll play to Paprise, who just managed to get the time on that one as Pabu was stepping up. But yeah, Legacy just kind of went to the mid lane and was stood there and was just like, well, we need to make this happen. Yeah, a bit of a 1v1. Looks like a disengage here. Paprise knocks him away. But Legacy are just watching Gravitas.
That was Pabu actually stepping up, getting a really good opener onto Paprise. But you can see Paprise still an item ahead and still has, you know, that level advantage as well. So able to trade very efficiently. Ninja Tabby versus 1 lethality item is very, very good. Against a couple, not great. Paprise got out here.
Oh, caught by the slow. There's a follow with the culling as well. That's crazy there. That was very intense, Lucian. Just poking. But here comes Legacy, once again in the same situation, but I mean, is it insanity if you actually take down the tower? Well, they didn't take down the tower, so that feels bad.
Hit the damn turret!
Anybody, a single auto attack. You have 2 ranged champions, 3 ranged champions.
I was going to, like, really applaud Legacy there because
Yeah,
this time it was different, right? They push top lane, they push bottom, Qiyana and Azir show on the wave, and then they go for a 5-man siege. That's beautiful 1-3-1 play. Not playing around your side laners, but playing around the mid lane group. He's going to be Dragon going down, but, I mean, they did all the hard work, and then the easy work of just right-click the structure seemed to be that one step too far.
Yeah, maybe congratulating themselves too soon and a little bit awkward. Yeah, the extra tower would have been nice as a gold injection. Chaz getting caught out, and wow. How often do you just see Azir just walk over? He had Yuumi attached to him, of course, but yeah, Azir just finds Ahri and kills her.
Yeah, and just the willingness to burn the summoner spell, very impressive from Harry there because he knows that up will allow them to have threat over this Baron. Cannot understate how quickly Azir does this with 3 Sand Soldiers down. You can see him tearing apart the structure, but this should be a fight.
Crazy stepping forwards, but Pabu on the flank. He's ready for this ultimate to come through. And there it is. Stuns the entire enemy team. They jump in there for the re-engage, and Guts is chased down. Paprise has evacuated stage right. Pradif walks back in, finds himself Heiru, who's quite happy to ignite him, follow through with the Conquering Sands. Double kill for the Emperor of Shurima.
Yeah, it certainly is. However, that looked like it was going to turn back in Legacy's favor. Got to remember, that starts as an outright 4v5. 2 members fall down for 3 in the end. But very good repelling of the Baron, because you can't let it go down at 21 minutes. You know, that's one of those plays that you just do not recover from at this stage of the game. So good defense, but I mean, walking into Baron versus Kiana is so tough, man. Like, hits the wall and just 4 members stunned, layered with Yumi's CC. After that, Pabu goes a little bit too aggressive for my taste, you know, will fall down. And this looked like an Ezreal dream. But the fact that Harry's this fed, you know, we mentioned it. You roamed top 3 times. You gave him 20 extra CS. Now he has 3 kills and pretty much 3 completed items. He is a very big Azir.
He is a big boy, big bird. But yeah, I mean, Baron was stopped in the end. You know, Gravitas found themselves that fight, but Kiana is an interesting champion because it makes you play the game differently, right? Like, no one thinks about terrain being something that you need to be aware of, though. Oh, Pradif, left, right, left, happy feet. Just walks straight through all of that. Harry somehow survives that salvo coming back there from Legacy, and now he just walks it off.
Yeah, a couple of times now, Harry's got real lucky. Doesn't make it over the wall. Jace is here.
Oh! Chooses wrong with a shock blast. And Harry gets away scot-free.
Just, I feel like they're on the cusp of so many things right now, Legacy.
Including this mid lane.
The game
it's going to be single digits.
Does not want them to be able to clean up anything. They will get the turret.
The melee minion did what Legacy could not.
But, wow, that was just so close. Harry steps up once again, so much damage, but no flash available. But just lives on a skerrick of health there, Foles.
Yeah, this, oof. That's what happens if it hits. Literally half health's raid. Yeah, this is, this game is not helping my anxiety, I'll say that much. Legacy are just...
It's very on flavor
back and forth
with this weekend's brand of League of Legends.
Yes, it is.
I feel like if there was ever going to be a promo weekend for what the OPL is, you know, games internationally speeding back up, you know, we're seeing like 31-minute average game time.
Yep.
Throw that out the window, you know. The ladder, ignore that stuff. That doesn't mean anything this weekend. Bombers coming out, having terrific performances. Chiefs probably having their worst performance of the OPL so far, even though they did go 1-1. We're lucky to be able to escape this weekend with a win in the end. And it really just has been all over the shop, both, you know, in results, but also play styles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just forget everything you know, right? As Praetor's looking for the engage here. Pabu off to the side, throws out the ultimate, instantly detonates Pradif. And that'll be the first kill onto the AD carry. Charm comes out.
Dead?
I mean, Chaz will just use an entire ultimate to get away. And Guts will just straight up die to Azir.
I mean, that's a 2v1 from Harry. Like, he had the Jace attacking him as well. Guts goes
Chaz
in.
died?
Yeah. Chaz dies somehow. I don't know.
Lucian?
Maybe. Look, you're looking for answers that I don't have.
Yeah, unfortunately, and there were 3 members down. Gravitas just moved onto the Baron, took Q over the wall. Paprise, him and Crazy versus potential Doom here for Legacy. Looking for the steal. They try it. It will be smited down by Silas. Oh, Praelus gets tanked by the Ezra ultimate. There's one last shock blast, which could potentially secure a kill. Just out of range of the recall.
Yeah, it certainly is, and they will walk away. They're going to have all 5 members up and available for that Baron buff. Now it's a 5,000 gold lead, and the game's starting to look a little bit more safe, and it was just Raid dashing on Chaz's head. All right, well played, Raid.
Yeah, okay. That was just such a bizarre lead up to a Baron. It was just like, you see one kill, and then like everybody from Legacy fades into black. And you're like, literally, where is everybody?
It's a sympathy death.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, guys, we're a team. You want to die? I'll die too.
You. In solidarity, I'll die off screen. And yeah, 3 kills into a Baron, and suddenly Gravitas is just very much in the driver's seat. Just kicked them out of the car. And Legacy are just now chilling in mid lane.
And this is now a very difficult siege to be able to withstand, right? You've got yourself a very good split pusher in Kiana. She's really rolling now. You have Harry, who's just 4-0 and 1 and 50 CS up on this Azir. Has even felt that he's that far ahead that he can just go for the luxury item.
Bit of combo there onto Pabu, drops him below half. But Yumi, constant heals will get him back up there. Legacy now in a siege situation, double cannons. Yeah, have to step forward to try and clear these. Meanwhile, Azir just at mid lane, just taking towers.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Kralis' poke is no joke. As soon as he steals that Jace ultimate, he's able to really force him away from turrets. You can see just the Azir dishing out the damage. I mean, if you do not win a fight right now, you're going to get your base broken in 2 areas.
Yeah, this is double inhibs. New wave coming in. Kind of difficult for Gravitas to step forwards though, but they are just slowly knocking it over. This cannon creep doing a whole lot of work for them. Legacy, just by proxy, getting chunked out. Paprise almost gets just deleted by the Azir in the mid lane. Pabu there as well. Knocked down the middle lane tower. And Legacy are just getting picked apart, really, at the seams. Crazy getting tagged out there. Top lane tower down at half. And I don't see any reason why Gravitas would let up the assault. Pabu pushing forward, looking for anyone to walk next to potential terrain traps. And now onto the middle inhibitor. That's dead. Top lane inhibitor. That's gone. And Gravitas got everything they wanted from that siege.
Yeah, it's just a really frustrating game for Legacy. They would feel like this game was just a ton of tiny things going slightly wrong. But when it gets to this point, you know, you're now down 7,000 gold. They have an Azir that you cannot just contest on that mid lane wave. Just able to knock down the turret. That means you have to send more than one member down. You know, Lucian as well as the Silas, then able to spread top lane turret as well. Just lots of really good decisions made then from Gravitas, but so many things in this mid game were like 50-50s that unfortunately fell away from Legacy. But Gravitas doing a really good job of using that to their advantage and being able to close this game out.
And as I like to say, you know, it's the attention to small things with equal success, and really Legacy, it was those lack of attention to those small things which has led up to this situation. And the Gravitas get themselves their third dragon. Really just a bit of spring cleaning, to be honest. As they sweep through the jungle and look towards the bottom lane, this outer turret, I would gather, wouldn't be an objective if you want to try and defend if you're Legacy.
Well, it becomes one of those things, right? You don't want to defend it because it is, well, this one you definitely don't. Next one, it's like, do we defend it or do we let ourselves get triple inhibited, you know, before next Baron?
Yeah.
And they're not going to be back up and available. It's one of those really tough choices you have to make. You can see they're not going to fight it for now because Ari's not here.
The problem is, this is not a Sivir comp. This is not something we can just absorb waves really easily. Pabu looking for his own flank off to the side. He can also use the outside of the map if he wants to as terrain. Kralis low. Good poke coming out from Legacy, but now they have to contend with supers in mid lane. There's a wave stacking, a storm on the horizon in top lane, but they've got another 30 seconds or so, maybe 40 seconds before that crashes. But Pabu, the constant threat right here, is clearing out this wave. Praetor almost just getting blasted on the spot. They'll knock down the tower, moving on to the in here, catching out Crazy. This might just be it. They get killed here. Dodging out of the laser, take this one back. Charm comes down, it's good. Unstoppable comes across. Rek'Sai's into the backline, but Kiana just blasts the entire backline of Legacy. 4 quick kills, and this will be it.
Yeah, it certainly should be. They're going to chase Praetor back to the fountain, but this should be Gravitas going 2-0 on the weekend.
Praetor, the one-man army against all odds. I don't see him doing it. Gravitas turn onto the Nexus, and Gravitas 2-0 on the week.
And you just can't keep Keanu Reeves down, apparently.
Nope, Quinoa real strong in the top lane.
That last ultimate just shows like how worried you have to be about the champion at like every stage of the game. You think that you're just fighting, you know, little skirmish, as Jules would call. You know, you go for a little cheeky skirmy. She just chucks 3 members into a wall and does half their health.
Yep.
Just disgusting amounts of burst damage that comes out of her.
Seems like a good champion. Yeah, I'm just waiting for like a Kiana just to go to like the side of a lane and just like drop an ult through someone else's lane and just like stun them in bot lane. Yeah. Like I'm just waiting for that to happen because apparently you can get to like midway if you're at base, you can hit the middle of the map. Yeah. So like I'm just waiting for that to happen.
I mean, it's a very long ultimate range and like it's kind of got crazy implications because like especially if you're on blue side, red side, you know, if they're hovering away from turret because you're playing something like Caitlyn or something, you can funnel them towards like the lane side of the brush. Yep. She can just hit that wall and it hits the whole thing. Yep. You know, Baron's the same. We saw that with Pabu. You don't even have to throw it at champions. You just throw it at the structure. Yeah. Like Summoner's Rift doesn't move too often.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Though I've seen people miss terrain. I've seen Northless players. Just look for dredge lines, so.
Absolutely.
Possible.
But no missed terrain this game, and like just really
No.
well played after, you know, honestly, a huge camp was put on Pabu. This was a game where he fell down 20 CS and lost his turret while plating was still available.
Yeah.
And was relevant at every stage of the game. So is Kiana broken? I'm going to say if you can withstand that assault from Jace and still have good impact, you're probably up to 2 strong.
Yeah, probably maybe a bit overtuned, but that's the first one we've actually seen in the OPL that's been picked at least. We've seen a couple bans, but I mean, in the end, I think just well played to Gravitas, right? Like, taking a step back, like, this is 2-0 week, you know, for a team who's been at the bottom of the standings for a long time, making a pretty good resurgence, like, at the perfect time, to be honest, in the split. If you're going to do it, now is the time.
And 2 very different games, right? The first game of the weekend, they came out, they just absolutely blasted their opponents. This time around, you know, a little bit more reserved, let the game come to them. When they got the big advantage, they closed it very decisively. So still decisive gameplay, but letting it be on the terms of what the game needs to be and, you know, not forcing over much with a comp that just outright scaled. You know, Azir late game is going to be able to shut down so much of what the Legacy comp was going to do.
Yeah, and resilience, of course, a hallmark of a great team as well. For now, though, we're going to send it over to Nick Boyd with the interview.
Thank you very much, Desk. Raid, congratulations. 2-0 for the weekend. What's happened to Gravitas?
Is it working?
You're good.
Cool. Sorry, it's a red light, so I didn't know if it was working. Nothing too much, I guess. You know, we're just screaming every day, slowly improving. Brandon Juice has been in the house a lot more recently, trying to fix the problems the little problems we've been having. So yeah.
Just yelling a lot and inspiring everybody?
Yeah, that's what he does all the time.
That's what he's best at. Out of all the teams currently playing, you kind of have managed to widen the gap the most between those below you. Does that feel good to be able to really get some distance so that everyone else is so close? There's so much juggling in terms of positions.
Yeah. Well, we're very comfortable versus Legacy and Dials. It's not really like about that, you know. We're just focusing on improving and taking on all these other teams, like Order, AV. These teams, like Order, AV, Bombers, especially. We're just like a step below them on like in terms of consistency and stuff. So we're just trying to bridge that gap and make Gauntlet.
And do you agree that Kiana's broken?
Okay. I think she's very strong.
Yep.
I think you need to have a certain situation to pick her. But if the situation is correct, I think she's very good.
I got 2 more questions for you.
Of course.
1, what is the current name of your jersey?
Arrow.
Are you sure?
Yes, it's Arrow.
Damn it, Juice. We need this definite. We need to know. Train your boys.
It's Arrow. It's Arrow.
Number 2, what segment would you like to see at MEO?
What segment
Yeah,
would I
like
like
couch
to see?
segment. Yeah, in between games.
Oh, would I like to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
of
what would you
course.
put on? What would you put on as a couch segment?
Something funny.
Name the Gravitas jerseys.
No.
You're right. Not funny.
Sign up to our membership though.
Oh, very smooth. I will give you that. Well
I
done.
like the painting segment, honestly.
Everyone loves the painting segment.
great. It's
We're
great
thinking
fun.
about kicking it up now with sculpting based off the last segment. So
Okay,
yeah.
that might be a bit challenging.
Well, then we all love a challenge. I feel like we can't top what
I
we've already
think-
topped. So
I think you should do the painting, but I think you should level it up. I think 2 people should be in one canvas, and you should have a time limit for the paintings.
oh, that's
I think that'd be very funny.
you mean like a 10-minute like in between game time? limit?
Yes, like
Okay.
a quick paint
Yeah.
and 2 men on each canvas. I reckon that'd be bloody hilarious.
Can we call it Raid's Quick Paint?
Sounds good, man.
Sounds good. Well, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Go home, enjoy the evening, and we'll be back right after this break.
Babu coming out there. Paprise has used a lot of his abilities, but Chaz and Guts coming into the top lane with a minion wave here as well. Pabu knocked up and put down for first blood.
Yeah, really.
Crazy stepping forwards, but Pabu on the flank. He's ready for this ultimate to come through. And there it is. Stuns the entire enemy team. They jump in there for the re-engage, and Guts is chased down. Paprise has
Praedif.
evacuated stage right. Praedif walks back in, finds himself Heiru, who's quite happy to ignite him, follow through with the Conquering Sands. Double kill for the Emperor of Shurima.
Yeah.
They'll knock down the tower, moving on to the in here, catching out Crazy. This might just be it if they get killed here. Dodging out of the laser, take this one back. Charm comes down, it's good. Unstoppable comes across, Rex slides into the backline, but Kiana just blasts the entire backline of Legacy, the one-man army, against all odds. I don't see him doing it. Gravitas turn onto the Nexus, and Gravitas 2-0 on the week.
But you just can't keep Keanu Reeves down, apparently.
At Macca's, our burgers are now hotter, juicier, and tastier, with onions added at the grill for more flavour, perfectly melted cheese, and softer buns. They're the best Macca's burgers ever.
And we are nearly done for the evening. Gravitas feeling good about themselves, as they rightly should.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was actually a really good victory from Gravitas. A 2-0 week for them as well. So they're one game off having a win streak. And what it's worth, Kiana was seen. We saw Pabu pop off as well. 5
You were very excited about
Yeah.
I
Kiana.
was so excited.
You wanted to be casting that game.
Yeah, I really did. I'm sad that I wasn't. But still, it was played well, to a high level. And they just played very good League of Legends in 2 styles. And that was a good week for them.
Yeah, right. And it's super interesting, to hit on the Kiana. We've seen it, and it has been open multiple times. And I thought we were potentially going to see it. I was casting the order game, and I'm like, this 5th pick could very easily be a Kiana. It was a Yasuo, didn't turn out to be, but I'm glad it's finally happened in the OPL so far. Harry in the mid lane on Azir this time. Yasuo yesterday had a very good weekend
Yeah,
over the
big
course.
week.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff has gone right this weekend for Gravitas, and that's absolutely what you want to see at this point of the season. Coming into the week, it's this needs to turn around at some point. And speaking of Rage just then, that is the moment. This is the moment they want to go on the upswing.
Absolutely. And it's not all bad news for Legacy, because they get to join us in the MPL. The 3 of us. We got Chaz, we got Crazy, we got 2 ARAMs. It's going to be wild.
4 Legacy or former Legacy people and a Nick Boy.
That's
true.
That's
Full
true.
Legacy and Nick Boy.
Yeah. Does that make me honorary Legacy?
You'd have to ask
I'll
Legacy.
I'll
You have to
have
ask
to ask
current
him.
Legacy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I get permission from one of current Legacy, then I feel like I'm in. All right, let's take a look. Oh, no, before we get to standing, sorry. We got to decide who wins this bad boy. So we
knew
had a
you
lot
were
of
gonna call it a
suggestions.
bad boy.
It is a bad boy, isn't it?
Yeah. I really derailed you.
Well, I was thinking about 4,000 different things. So we enjoyed lots of the suggestions. It sort of came down to 2. Technically 3. Davo Erlo and Troxa Os, you both suggested versions of interpretive dance or charades to guess out champions or movesets, and we really enjoyed that.
Show me your move.
We really enjoyed that. So like the Judgment of Solomon in the Book of Kings, we shall cut the headset in twain and give half to each of you. Or what we're actually just going to do is give it to Observer Oceanic for the sculpting. Because I feel like the sculpting is the definitive
correct.
winner.
It is the next progression of our painting.
It's
It just makes sense. And you've only spoken about sculpting since we've heard it.
I will be so happy if there's turntables and sculpting equipment at MEO.
It would be very, very exciting. Now, I should caveat this with the fact that we've never actually agreed to do it, but I think that we should. Because I feel like it is the next leveling up. So thank you very much. Observer Oceanic, please DM the OPL Twitter account. Send us your details and we'll get the headset out to you. All right, let's take a look at the results from this evening's League of Legends, because there were other winners besides Observer Oceanic. Mammoth take down Avant Gaming in game number 1. Chiefs cannot stand up to Order for game 2. That's not right. Chiefs took down Order in game number 2. Claire was sitting here and he looked very tired. Direwolves can't stand up to Bombers in game 3 in a very decisive victory there at the end for Bombers. And finally, Gravitas beating Legacy in game number 4. So let's take a look at the standings. I assume they're correct. I'm just going to rattle them off and we'll see what happens. Rank 1, we've got Mammoth there at the top of the table. Correct. Chiefs holding strong at 2. Bombers behind them, rank 3. Avant, then Order. You're shaking your head,
Chiefs
Bryce.
is incorrect.
Chiefs
Are
is...
they 9-3?
I
I mean, the placement is fine. They won the victory. Yeah, they got the victory.
You're right. The ranks are all be online. I mean, who
Incorrect.
Who needs numbers? This is a show about sculpting and booches. But I mean,
that needs to die.
No,
Kill it.
No,
kill the booch.
It
The
lives.
Booch is the best.
The booch is the best. Someone, dear God, someone make a T-shirt and send it in for Bryce to wear. The booch is the best. All right. Speaking of the best, MEO, come along to MEO because that's where you're going to see all the sculpting. Get your tickets at melbourneesportsopen.com.au/tickets. The grand final for the split is being held there. There is a bunch of esports on League being one of the huge feature pieces, Rod Laver Arena. It was so much fun last year. What are you pointing at?
Old mate in the middle is about to chow down on a boomstick. I've only
is.
just noticed that. We're in week 6.
That is-
He's 3 seconds away from chowing down on a
And
boomstick.
Sport isn't here, so I feel like we have to cover him. Best city in Victoria.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. Best city in Victoria. Well done. And there's nothing you can do about it. Let's take a look at the schedule for tomorrow. No, not tomorrow.
week.
For next week, sorry. It is Bombers versus Gravitas game number 1. Order take on Mammoth in game 2. Legacy versus Chiefs. And then Avant versus the Direwolves. That is all happening Friday from 4 p.m. here on the OPL. None of which would be possible without our wonderful sponsors, of course. McDonald's, the official partner of the OPL. M-Wave, the official retailer of the OPL. HyperX, the official headset of the OPL, and now the official headset of Oceanic Observer. Congratulations to you. Remember, you can get your hands on one of these
Bangers.
bad boys. Where were you? If you just participate in the budget cosplay competition that we are going to be running next Saturday, between now and then, please send us your pictures of your most budget cosplay of a League of Legends champion. There are examples on the OPL Twitter feed. They were magnificent last year, and I'm hoping we can up them. Exactly. We're going to sculpt you guys up the budget cosplay game, so we're going to be checking those out on Saturday. All right. That is it, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
NPL time.
A
Let's ram it
lovely
up.
evening together on the couch.
Was indeed.
It was indeed. Let's get ready for the MPL. It is Chaz, it is Crazy, it is the three of us, and we will see you in a second.